Companionway, an opening that provides access between deck and cabin, usually protected with a sliding hatch. 1. The diesel rumbled to life beneath Oliver's bare feet. Oh boy, that'd bring her running. They hadn't even left the dock this morning when Mrs. Haverford announced rule number 1.
We will travel by sail this week, using the new engine only for emergencies.
Sure enough, she popped out of the cabin like a jack-in-the-box, holding her perfect hair so the breeze didn't mess with it. But she'd found something else to grouse about.
Captain Buck, we're out of water.
Buck lifted one hand off the wheel, just long enough to slide a fresh peppermint into his mouth. It's just Buck, he told her. No need to be calling me captain. He'd been steering all day, eyes roaming over sun-sparkled water like he was daydreaming. Only the wake, straight as a highway, proved how well he was handling surprise. They'd made great time on the sail up Buzzard's Bay, and it sure wasn't from Mrs. H popping up on deck every 5 minutes. Never mind her useless son Greg. He'd spent the entire day staring down at a tiny MP3 player, white earphone wires dangling. Mrs. Haverford pressed her lips together.
We'll discuss your title another time. Right now, I need to wash up the lunch dishes, and nothing is flowing out of the faucet.
We can't be out of water already. I just filled the tank this morning. Buck's eyes left the narrow channel of water ahead long enough to glance over at Oliver. Could you take a look? Hitching up his cargo shorts, Oliver followed Mrs. H down the steep ladder into a cabin that reeked of new foam. 6 cushions, blue with red piping, had been tucked into place that morning. Mrs. H swatted a crease out of the port settee on her way forward. Above the settee, a battered canvas duffel waited in his bunk. Mom had packed for him, but he didn't really care what she'd stuffed inside that old blue bag of hers. Tonight, he'd sleep head to toe with the captain of surprise, just like a real ship's boy. That's if he could sleep. The galley stretched across the forward end of the cabin. Short counter, shiny stove, sink full of dishes. Mrs. H spun the hot water tap all the way open.
All the money I spent to rebuild this schooner, you'd think the darned faucet would work.
A pump whined, but no water came out.
See?
I'll check the tank. Oliver lifted up the center floorboard and gasped. The bilge shone with water. He couldn't even see the tank, but it must have sprung a leak. So why hadn't the emergency pump come on? The top switch on the electrical panel had been switched off, that's why. As soon as Oliver flipped it back to auto, a deep gurgle began to pump their fresh water overboard. Too weird. A loud snicker from the starboard side of the cabin startled him. Greg Haverford lay in the bunk opposite Oliver's, knees up, nibbling the side of a thumb with his perfect teeth. He'd come below as soon as the waves had flattened out, and now he pulled his headphones out of his MP3 player and held the shiny rectangle up to his left ear. Tinny cymbals crashed, loud enough to hear across the cabin. Mrs. H had invited Oliver along this week to have another young person aboard, but he and Greg would never be friends. It wasn't the 4-year age difference. Oliver had 2 buddies at home who would be seniors this fall. And it wasn't Greg's all-black sneakers, jeans, and T-shirt, or the 2 silver hoops spearing his left earlobe. It was his attitude. The guy even trash-talked his own mother. And he was still snickering.